holding the mic. I think in my 13 years of speaking, I haven't held the mic, so please bear with me. And the fact that but I think I can project if the mic goes out. So, George, thank you so much. That was beautiful. It is my honor to be here. Good evening and kalisperasas, right? Are we excited to be here? I don't think that's a Greek welcome. Are we excited to be here? All right, hopefully the mic holds up, and hopefully you can bear with me. I hear some noise from the back. Is there a trick to this, George? George, is there a trick?
It has a fingerprint trigger.
Hello? There's a trick.
It must not recognize my face. There we
Testing.
go. All right. I want to thank the Hellenic Lawyers Association and its board for this invitation and distinct honor, especially your president, fellow, I gotta read the accent already, fellow Kefaloniti George Zapantis, Zapati. How many people from Kefalonia in the room? You're not loud enough. And I want to thank Secretary John Zavopoulos. I know both of you and your entire board spent countless hours on this event, and it shows. What a fantastic turnout. A true testament to your hard work. Bravo. 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 Yes, they deserve a round of applause. I would acknowledge the Court of Appeals. Judge Madeline Singas couldn't be here tonight. She does send her regards, and she's in Greece. So hopefully we'll all run into her soon. She was called to a public speaking event in Greece. So she sends her best. Yes, she was honoring last year. So I have been so fortunate to be appointed to the best and largest appellate division in the nation. The second department, second to none. I always find it so touching when my colleagues come to support. And I am truly touched tonight at everyone here. I want to thank, by far, the most outstanding presiding justice and fearless leader of the second department, Long Island's own, the Honorable Hector B. LaSalle. It is quite an honor for me and for the HLA to have you join us today.
You're getting a raise tomorrow.
True fact, he was here last year, so he's a supporter. He's a true Phil Helene. I know, I sat next to him. And he's been and continues to be a pillar of support for me and my colleagues. Thank you, PJ. Thank you so much. They've become my family, warm from the appellate division. I'm deeply touched by all the members of the second department who are in attendance tonight. Our senior members, many don't know, there's 7 constitutional judges. Our senior members of the bench, the distinguished Mark Dillon, Betsy Barrows, Cheryl Chamber. I am truly honored that you are here tonight. Also, Linda Christopher, Paul Wooten, Linda Wan, Janice Taylor. I am truly honored. Thank you, and I'm truly touched. Thank you for being here. I didn't forget. I just made it special. A legend, a first of many during his time, someone that I've always been so fond of from a distance, and I've grown to consider the older brother I never had, Justice Ronaldo Rivera. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to join us. I am truly touched, and you will be missed. You will be missed. I also want to thank Thomas Adams. He's here. He was retired. He's right next to me. Retired from the appellate division. Thank you for being here. I'm going to take a little extra time, George, because I need to acknowledge everybody. I was going to acknowledge Josias and congratulate him. He had many events tonight. It's very unlike him, so he probably will be with us. And but he sent he was intent on being here tonight. I want to acknowledge also First Deputy Administrative Judge and from Nassau County, the Honorable Norman St. George, and your Thank you for your support. He was also my supervising judge in the district court and my administrative judge in Nassau County. Thank you for your support. I also want to acknowledge friends and leaders, Edwina Richardson Mendelson, Deputy Chief Administrative Judge for Justice Initiatives, and the Honorable Deborah Kaplan, Deputy Chief Administrative Judge of the New York City Court, someone who I have known for a very long time, from his bar and friend. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So I want to thank the Nassau County. They are present tonight. Administrative Justice Vito DiStefano, Jeffrey Wilson, supervising judge from the National Legal Center. Nassau County is representing tonight. The HLA should take note of that. We might want to make a chapter in Nassau County. Last but not least, I want to acknowledge my family and friends. All my friends who came from Nassau and Suffolk County, from the city, and my husband, Tony Bruces. Esteemed members of the judiciary, friends and family, thank you for your attendance tonight in support of the HLA. It is quite an honor for me to be in the presence of all of you. And as your guest speaker today, the HLA is premised on bringing together Hellenes to help each other and to strengthen ties to the Greek culture and the broader community. Ask any Greek, and they will tell you, Hellenes have throughout history made significant contributions to society. Hellenistic ideals reshaped Roman culture and society, laying the foundations for our modern world. Greeks made important contributions to philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Literature and theater was an important aspect of Greek culture, which influenced modern drama. Greeks were known for their sophisticated sculpture and architecture. The Socratic method taught in law school came from the Greeks. Ideals of ethos, community, and philokimo, which is too complicated for me to translate, all came from the Greeks. Names like Plato, Socrates, and Pericles remain in our history books, and while Greece has downsized a bit from those days, notable Greeks continue to make significant contributions to society. Names like George Tennant, Tom Carvel, and more recently, Albert Bourla, Chief Executive Officer of Pfizer. In between the old age and the new age, many of us know the history of the struggles of Greece and those that made the journey to New York and other cities for a better future. Hellenes continue to have much to be proud of, but we still have much work to do. It was no surprise that a group of Greek attorneys came together to form the HLA for some ethos and philokimo to help strengthen ties to Greek culture and the broader community in what holds the largest Greek diaspora outside of Greece. History has shown us that when Hellenes strive for success, we not only accomplish goals, but we establish legacies for generations. When I graduated law school, the HLA seemed like a small group of attorneys based in New York City. I watched from the sidelines and heard of many statatos. I thought she would be here tonight. I didn't see her. It's president. She was the president at the time, and she's in Kefalonia, right? She would recruit members. Its presence has grown both in the city and outside of the city, with events sometimes flowing into Long Island, where populations of Greek Americans continue to grow. And it's organizations like this, under dynamic leadership, that are capable of connecting people, strengthening ties, and effectuating change. As I look onto this crowd proudly, I am inspired to tell you of your boundless potential that you may not even recognize yourself. In celebrating Hellenism and supporting the advancement of fellow Hellenes, and most importantly, friends of Hellenes, or what we call Philhellenes, it has been so important to tell our individual story, because without those stories, we aren't able to inspire each other. Your story and my story are so important to the bigger story. When I embarked on my journey to become a judge 15 years ago, I had heard of stories of Judge Nicholas Tsoukalas, Judge Leo Malonis, who formerly held Josiah's position, and Justice Peter Skelos, who started in Nassau as a district court judge and rose to the appellate division, but at that time, I didn't have the means or the courage to meet these judges. As I think of my storied journey, similar to many in this room today, my story, like yours, the oldest born to immigrants who came to America with just the clothes on their back and barely spoke the language. They were rich in culture and in search of a dream in the early 1970s. My parents know many of your parents, and we have crossed each other's paths. They all tell their stories of having barely enough to survive back in their hometowns and coming to America for an opportunity for a better life for their own children. They instilled in me, like they have in you, the necessary ideals and importance of education, to work hard and to make significant contributions, not just for ourselves, but society at large. I knew that becoming a lawyer was somewhat obtainable, but I never would have imagined becoming a judge, especially one appointed by a female governor to the appellate division. I just didn't have that kind of access, or what we call maison, growing up. When I ran for the first time in 2010 for the district court, it is no secret that I relied on both the Hispanic and Greek community for support. I told my story in churches and communities. Diners became my headquarters. I came to know all the priests in Nassau County. But who would remember a name like Vutsinas, Vutsinas, Vutinas, Vutsinas? To my surprise, that year, the headline in Newsday, the day after Election Day, read that the other party had won almost all 20 Long Island judgeships. I was the almost. It was because of those communities that I am here today. 13 years later, the girls and boys who were listening to me in church are applying to law school. I've gotten countless calls. Hi, when I was 9, I heard you speak in church. I'm applying to law school. I need your advice. I'm in law school. Can I intern for you? You inspired me. One of my proudest moments is when I took on an intern who I knew when she was 9, by the name of Crisula, who came to me after her first year in law school with a GPA of 3.4. She interned with me for almost a year and observed many trials which had serious evidentiary issues. She ended up getting an A+ in evidence, and all A's from then on. She was so inspired, she went on to clerk for the 3rd Department, I'm not going to hold it against her, And this summer, she will be starting a clerkship with the Court of Appeals. Each story building on the other, those inspiring stories that tell us, yes, I can actually do this, we can do it. I know they inspired me. It's those stories that the HLA will continue to tell through people like me in order to inspire young Hellenes not only to become lawyers, but leaders in the New York community that will effectuate change and reflect the ideals of justice and democracy that they embarked on 2,500 years ago. The HLA should be very proud tonight for all your hard work. The attendees are quite impressive. From members of the judiciary, partners at law firms, to young aspiring attorneys. A perfect example of opportunities for networking that I never had. And with so very few Greeks in the judiciary and in leadership positions, it is very important to form partnerships with non-Hellenes. I could not have ascended to where I am without people like Madeline Singas, who always provided me with encouragement, Peter Skelos, who gave me great advice, or powerhouses like presiding justices Hector LaSalle and Rolando Acosta, who provided me with the insight to move forward. Greeks hold something that is very powerful. Very few cultures are based on religion, and when you combine that with purpose, you are able to make significant contributions to society because of community called Hellenism. Hellenism is made up of people like Madeline Singas and Peter Skelos, who have become role models for the younger generations coming up to take the reins once we move on. We have a dynamic diaspora, constantly changing to meet the new challenges of a new age. And as this organization grows stronger, it is the HLA's responsibility to continue to create the connections, cultivate new lawyers, and also take an active stand for basic premises in continuing to protect democracy like it did long ago. I have no doubt that the leadership will do that. While this organization continues to grow with a new generation of attorneys, it is important that during a time when judicial independence is ever increasing in danger at all levels by intrusions by the other branches of government, that organizations such as this organize and support the tenets of basic principles of democracy that originated from the Greeks. Tonight, I know that I have planted a seed in someone's mind. You may not have realized it, but I have. That you too can become a judge one day, or be that lawyer that will help change the world like your forefathers, or a lawyer that will protect the tenets of democracy. It is organizations like this that help sow and cultivate those seeds. Thank you for the honor and taking the time to listen to me. Now it's time to get to work. Thank you.